Hello friends, welcome to the platform of Darshanik IAS. So today on this platform of Darshanik IAS, I am Akshay Kadam going to discuss with you the UPSC's Mains 2023 essay paper. So guys, UPSC Mains 2023 essay paper, they asked 8 quite difficult topics, and in that guys, I will record different lectures where I will discuss with you the different topics and what content you supposed to write, what content you need to write in those particular topics. So here guys, today we will focus on the structure writing of these essay topics, what content you should be writing in all those essay topics. So I will record different lectures for different essay topics, and in these 30-35 minutes recordings, I will try to give you in detail the structure of that particular essay topic. So you can use this structure, understand what you think of and what I have thought of to write in the essay topic, compare both the structures, okay, and then try writing your own essay topic using the same structures. Okay, already guys, on my YouTube channel of Darshanik IAS, I have recorded many lectures regarding essay writing tips. Okay, so what do's, don'ts, etc. you need to follow while writing an essay. So you first check out those tips, okay, and structures that I have provided for different topics already recorded on my YouTube channel. So do check them out also. So this UPSC's 2023 paper guys had different topics, and in today's lecture I am going to discuss the topic number 5, that girls are weighed down by restriction, boys with demands, two equally harmful disciplines. Okay. So guys, UPSC has consistently asked essays on the gender related issues, women related issues. Okay, but till now they haven't asked the essay from the men's perspective or related to issues related to male gender or male sex. But this year guys, they asked first time, okay, that issues that are faced by the boys also. Okay, so this essay is not only about the female especially as such, but previously most of the topics that UPSC asked were largely on women related issues. So let's discuss this topic guys, and what you should be writing, how you can make this topic more multidimensional, how you can explore different ideas to write, and how you can make your structure more impressive, your essay more impressive to get more competitive marks. So guys, I already told you in all my previous lectures related to answer writing or essay writing, etc. UPSC's basic rule, if you want to score good in UPSC exam, whether in essay paper, ethics paper or any GS paper, and then simple idea or simple logic is write more than others, write different than others. Okay, so your content should be very enriching and it should be different. And so if you want to write more and write different, then you need to explore a lot of different dimensions. You need to think about that topic extreme detail, okay, and then you need to approach that topic. So this is what I will tell you what you should be writing in this essay topic. So topic is girls are weighed down by restrictions and boys with the demands, two equally harmful discipline. Now in this guys, basic structure of the essay that you need to follow, that I will discuss first. That first, as you go on writing the essay, first you should do the establish the essay. Establish the essay means what? That this essay topic that UPSC has given is the concern before the world, concern before India, and with some example or with some story, you try to establish the essay topic. Now once you establish the essay topic, then directly don't start debating or agreeing with the essay topic. First you need to question the premise given in the essay topic, that are girls being exposed to the restrictions, are boys being exposed to the demands, okay, and then if so, okay, what harmful effects, that as UPSC is asking, that both equally harmful discipline. So discuss that separately, what harmful impacts it is having on girls, what harmful impacts it is having on boys. Okay, now you have discussed all these basics, then go on exploring that how we can deal with this issue. Can we reduce the restriction on girls? Can we reduce the demands on the boys? Okay, if so, what great things will happen? And then in the end, you should then start discussing the solution, how exactly or actually you can do that, you can approach that. So first in the essay guys, what you need to do is introduction. Next, first 50-60 words, you need to introduce the topic or with some story, you can try to establish the topic. So here I will just compare, or I will just try to create some hypothetical story. that in my neighborhood there lived a very demanding and conservative parents or couple, etc. And I will try to narrate or I will try to contrast the story of two neighbors. That in my society there used to live one conservative couple, one is other very liberal and mature understanding couple, and how this conservative couple had a lot of restriction, always used to put a lot of restriction on girl child, how it impacted her overall development. I will try to discuss like a case study format, how they demanded a lot from the boy and how it led to then a lot of consequences for that boy. And I will then contrast that with the other family, how they gave very liberal environment, free environment, gender neutral environment, and how this boy and girl from the other family succeeded in their life, etc. So with such some story, I will try to establish the essay. So yes, this essay matters. If you have different expectation from boys, girls, how it impact their personality. So in general, you can do that basic story or introduction. Then in the next point, most important point in the essay is guys, gist. Okay, so next 70-80 words, you need to provide the outline of the essay. What different points you are going to write in the essay topic, just give a hint of it to the examiner. So after discussing the intro, after discussing the story of your two neighbors, you can try writing the gist. So in the gist, what you have to do? So in this essay, we will first try to understand, are there any gender expectation, different gender expectation from girls? Okay, are there different demands from boys? And are these demands reasonable? Then we'll go on exploring, okay, what kind of impact or harmful consequences these restrictions can create or are creating for the girl child, and these demands creating for the boys. Then after discussing these restrictions on girls and boys, we will try to analyze whether we can do something about it, okay, and we will discuss some solutions to address this issue. So whatever you are writing in the essay, just try to provide provide that in a form of gist, and don't make a definitive statements that impacts on restriction on girls or impact of demands on boys, etc. Try to make it interactive. Are there any restrictions that girls are get exposed to? If so, then what are the consequences that they face out of it? Are there any demands that are pushed on the boys? And what are the consequences of it? So put the gist interactive, and whatever you are writing in the gist, you can use it as your subheadings while writing the next essay or next main body part. So try so establish your essay with the intro, then give a gist of the essay topic, then try to go then you start your main body. So around 150 words, where you should start with the main body of the essay. So in the main body, guys, first part I generally tell my students in my classroom that you should begin your essay topic or main body with the definition part. So most of the time, if essay is like idea of modern Indian women is myth, then how you understand the idea of modern Indian women, how you measure the concept of modern Indian women, try to define that. Or essays on like patriarchy, then define patriarchy. Okay, essays on social justice, economic justice, then define social justice, economic justice, define empowerment as such. Okay, if essay topic is on creativity, UPSC asked one essay on creativity. So first define what do you understand by creativity, what's your understanding of creativity. Now in this essay, there is no such a term like definition as such in the essay topic, no key word or key terms that you can define. But guys, if you look at the essay carefully, then you can understand, okay, that essay topic is hinting us towards the gender differences. Okay, girl and boy, the gender differences, that how girls are being restricted and how boys are being demanded. So in the main body, guys, first set the background of differences in the society, the differences that exist in the society. So set the background of difference between sex as a biological entity and gender as a cultural identity. So guys, when you say male and female, that is a biological classification, that is natural. Okay, so this is called sexual difference or male female as a biological difference, which is natural. Only female can carry a baby. So this is a natural difference, nothing we can do about it. But any difference that is there that society makes, which is not coded in genetics, not coded in biology, are called gender differences or cultural differences. Okay, and when we talk about cultural differences, they are largely determined by society, they are not determined by the genetics. So first set the background that if there are biological demands, different expectation or demands from boys or girls, that can be understandable. But cultural demands, okay, then they are the major issue, they are the problem. So set the background of your essay or tone of your essay. So try to discuss the difference or set or write some arguments about sex as a biological entity and gender as a cultural identity. Then explain how society creates these gender differences or gender expectations. फिर आपने gender differences को establish किया, gender identity का concept you establish. Then go on discussing how society creates these gender differences, gender expectation. Okay, so one of the major reason is socialization, the way entire society is socialized, the norms in the society, stereotype prejudices in the society, all they impact and shape these expectations. Okay, so how you can discuss the role of patriarchy or different socializing agents, religion, etc. in shaping the gender differences or gender expectations. Then you can go on explaining how this works through enculturation, acculturation. Okay, you can coin these terms, enculturation, acculturation. So enculturation is the way we learn norms of our own society and culture. Acculturation is where we learn norm and society of other cultures. Like if you go to America, Europe, you learn their norms. That is acculturation. So define basic background about enculturation, acculturation, and how through these processes we learn the gender differences. Okay, और ये बहुत short में करना है. So एक word में ही, लेकिन ये सारे points पे दो चार line you can write and debate. Then explain why it creates gender expectations. कि इनकी वजह से okay, ये जो society treats boy and girl differently from a childhood, और यही differences, gender differences eventually आगे जाके okay turn into a gender expectations or gender demands from girls and boys separately. So if we don't do or if we don't treat male or female kid from a childhood in a different way, then such an expectation will not emerge. So set the background. What is biological identity? What is gender identity? How gender expectations get nurtured? How they get created? Okay. So basic background of the essay. Then you can also provide example of society's culture or historical periods when such a restrictions have been prevalent. Then you can also tell some to justify your point how society nurtured the gender expectation. You can talk some historical example how in history females were not allowed to go out, get educated, or how widow remarriages were banned, or sati practice, etc. related issues. So कोई एक example देके how from early Vedic period to later Vedic period gender expectations or gender norms were born, etc. So with some historical example also you agree with the essay topic that yes, in India there are gender differences, okay, separate gender expectations from girls and demands from boys. So just 50, 60, 100 words you try to set the background of the essay topic. Then go ahead and illustrate with examples how girls are weighed down by restriction. Now first part, separately both 100 words you write on this, that how girls are weighed down by restrictions, okay, uske examples how it manifests in the society. Then also discuss, illustrate how boys are weighed down by the demands. So first you discuss in detail, illustrate with examples how girls are weighed down by restriction. Okay, so discuss how these restrictions, okay, manifest in various aspects of life such as education, career, mobility, personal choices, and because of this expectation, how it impacts girls' mobility, their freedom, okay, different aspects of life like their educational development, economic development, etc. You can also develop how this gender expectation impact their career choices, their career habits, etc. How it impacts their gender mobility. Most of the time girls are not allowed to go and take a job in different cities, or how it restricts their mobility overall, that they are not open to take up jobs in different cities, different cultures, etc. Okay, so yeah, शादी के बाद girls are supposed to resign from the job. So overall, how these gender expectations restrict their personal choices, their personal freedom, their mobility, etc., or various aspects of life. Okay, Then you can also talk about domestic roles and duties. ये भी एक gender expectation है female से. That is, and generally in my class I use a statement that taking care of family is a duty for a male and responsibility for a female. So why that there is a gender expectation that female should take care of the house, and not it's just their duty, it is the responsibility, the way it is looked. So female are forced more than the boys, or be more forced to be more responsible than the boys, okay, to take care of the families. So ये जो different expectations है, okay, different roles and responsibilities, different duties that they have to perform. So उसमें you can discuss the compounded gender roles, like female has to be good mother, good wife, good daughter-in-law, good daughter, etc. So all these lot of expectations from different members of the family or society, and how they have to fulfill, okay, that you can discuss about. So taking care of family is duty for a male and responsibility for the female. Then you also talk about expectation, how female should carry themselves, how they should dress up. ये जो उनका टोटल मोरल पुलिसिंग जो किया जाता है अबाउट फीमेल्स, ये भी एक एक्सपेक्टेशन है फैमिली का, सोसाइटी का और रिलीजन का. You can discuss little bit about hijab and other issues, how it is only forced on a females, but it is that restriction is not there on the males. So this is a gender expectation that tries to govern their bodily autonomy, tries to decide how they should dress up, how they should carry themselves, how they should behave themselves in front of others, and so on. Then you can also discuss this restriction on mobility that I told you, that females mobility is largely restricted because of this expectation, okay, and this mobility whether appears with respect to economic opportunity, जो मैंने अभी बताया कि कहीं दूसरी सिटी में जॉब लगी, females are not allowed to take up, उतना freedom उन्हें नहीं मिलता, या कोई बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स भी लाए हो but engineering college that girl got admission to is in different state, then her mobility will be restricted and it impacts their career also. या शादी के बाद भी she is supposed to move to the husband's place, etc. So this guys tremendously restricts their mobility. Then there is a restriction on reproductive rights. Okay, ये भी एक indirectly expectation है that after marriage they should have kids, how many kids they should have. Even everything is decided by the largely in India by the male partner. So वो भी reproductive rights में भी उनसे जो expectations है, okay, different, that you can talk about. Then you can also talk about strict codes of modesty and virtue, dressing, etc. that I told you. या घर की इज्जत, what we call, is linked more to the women's body than the boys' behavior. Okay, so that modesty, virtue, etc. also are things that get associated with the women. So these strict codes, strict gender codes, okay, and strict gender expectations about their modesty, virtue, behavior, etc. You can also discuss little bit about that, and how this expectation about career choices, that after marriage girl should resign from the job, shift to the boys' place, etc. So few 8-10 examples you can discuss how in Indian society these different gender expectations are there prevalent, how they manifest in the society. The next SOEC word you can write on this dimension. Then you can go ahead and illustrate what are the demands from the boys. Okay, gender demands. Okay, demands are not only impacting the girl child, they are also impacting the boys. So we can also you can also discuss in 100 words, illustrate with example how boys are weighed down by the demands. Okay, so discuss how these demands manifest in various aspects of life such as education, career, unke bhi mobility, personal choices. So you can talk about job requirements, that boys should have a job, they should get settled very early, should be a responsible member of the family. Then also they need to be breadwinner demand, they need to be a breadwinner. This is different demand which is not expected from the girls. Even if girl is not bread maker, she won't get judged. But if a boy is not breadwinner or bread maker, okay, he will not get a girl in a marriage, etc. So how he is supposed to be responsible and provide for a family? A बहुत strong demand है. And now we are only discussing demands. Later on we will discuss the consequences of those demands, harms of those demands. So we will discuss separately. So first we discuss separately gender expectation from females or girl child. Now we are discussing demands from the boys. Then greater demand to excel academically, succeed professionally, ये भी बहुत है, because you need to be responsible breadwinner. So there is a lot of pressure on boys, demand on boys to excel academically, succeed professionally. Utni demand you will not get parents or family will not make from the girl child. Okay, even she manages to get good education and able to get good job, that is enough for her marriage, etc. But for boys, okay, this demand to excel academically, excel professionally, okay, provide for family, and once he becomes adult, provide for the or take care of the parents, etc. Okay, he need to be the center stage, and that's why, guys, there is a lot of demand, greater demand to excel academically and succeed professionally. Okay, then pressure to conform to traditional rules, not to pursue careers outside of it. और थोड़ा ज़्यादा डेप्थ में सोचो, बिकॉज ये जो अभी तक चार पांच पॉइंट मैंने बताए, मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स आर गोइंग टू राइट दोस पॉइंट्स. तो उसके अलावा भी हटके 2-4 पॉइंट्स लिखना, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट डिमांड्स फ्रॉम बॉयज. तो और एक डिमांड जो होती है गाइस कि मेनी बॉयज हैव मेनी डिफरेंट इंटरेस्ट, हॉबीज और एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर potentials, but largely traditional norms related to job, they are not encouraged to take the careers outside the traditional gender norms like doctor, engineering, etc. Okay, it is not encouraged that boys take admission to the fashion designing or follow some dance, music, art, these kind of things. Largely we find girls more in those art schools, colleges, etc. So most of the time pressure to conform to traditional jobs, traditional roles restrict them from pursuing career outside of those traditional norms. तो ये भी एक डिमांड है कि ट्रेडिशनल जॉब या ट्रेडिशनल करियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज ही एक्सप्लोर करो. देन peer pressure to conform, not only this, even peer pressure, most of the time like friends also pressurize or demand from their friends, और इसी से बहुत सारे सब्सटेंस अब्यूज, एडिक्शंस, ये सारी एडवेंचर सीकिंग, इस तरह की हैबिट्स या प्रॉब्लम्स हो जाते हैं. Okay, yeah, because of peer pressure is also one of the major reason that peer demand or peer pressure for most of the crimes in a juvenile boys. Okay, so peer pressure or pressure to conform to peer groups or to adjust to the peer group, जो demand होती है, then you need to smoke with us, drink with us, all these demands, okay, or peer pressure expectations also hamper the boys. Then they need to behave responsibly all the time or be more responsible, especially economically, financially, career wise, and then managing finances. And even after getting in a job or a career, okay, they need to manage their finances well, etc. If anything bad happens with the family or something is not going good, they will get judged even in that matter related to finances, etc. So they need to think about the future. They need to curtail their own desires, etc., their own expectations, and to provide for the family or to plan or manage finances for the family, for future generation, future kids, etc. Then you can also talk about emotional demands that are expected from boys, that boys shouldn't cry, boys shouldn't express themselves emotionally. They need to be emotionally stoic. Okay, or what we call कि मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, that kind of जो expectation or demand from the family, that boys shouldn't cry, shouldn't express themselves emotionally. Okay, they need to be stoic. ये भी एक बहुत strong demand, cultural demand है और universal demand है वो. And not being empathetic or emotionally expressive, or not to debate things emotionally, not to be emotionally empathetic, emotionally expressive. So you can discuss 5-6 demands that boys get exposed to. Then, so till now we discussed the background of in a main body, what is gender expectation, gender differences, how they get created through socialization, etc. Then we discuss what are the gender expectation from girls and demands from the boys. Now we'll discuss what are the harmful consequences of that, जो essay का next part है. So each and every part in the essay we'll try to go and exploring. So first we established essay, then we defined why this essay is there, because of the gender differences, gender identities, and how these gender identities form. Then we discussed the gender expectations. Then we discussed the gender gender expectation from girls and demands from the boys. And then we went on Now we will go on discussing the second part of the essay, that harmful consequences. So first ये भी separately discuss करना, harmful consequences for girls, harmful consequences for boys. Okay, 100 word, इसमें भी दो अलग dimension, दो separate dimension. So explain consequences or harm for girls being subjected to restriction. अब इसमें बहुत सारे points तो all students who crack prelim will be able to write. So you need to provide more and more pointers. You need to write more or think of more ways that this restriction on girls can impact them. Okay. So explain consequences of harm for girls being subjected to restriction. So one of the major is a suicide, or one of the strongest harm that happen to girls. Okay. In India, guys, there is a huge number of suicides that are happening in India or committed by women or girls in India. India is the suicide capital of the world with respect to women and also with respect to men. Okay, out of 3 women that commit suicide worldwide, 1 is from India, and out of 4 men that commit suicide worldwide, 1 is from India. So India's suicide numbers are 37% of world suicides from women, and men's suicide rate is 25% of the entire suicide that are happening in the world. 25% suicides are of Indian males. तो ये काफ़ी high number है, and major reason for those is a gender expectations from girls and gender demands from boys. So you discuss about this suicide and its statistics and some background. Also, guys, you can major reason in Rajasthan's Barmer district, many women are committing suicide jumping into the village wells, and one of the major reason for that, okay, was this restriction, the very high amount of restriction because of conservative culture in that region, that girls are being forced to, or girls supposed to obey by, okay, is one of the reasons. So you can discuss this case study of a Barmer district's well suicide. You can Google about that. You will get some data, and you can use that to support this point. Then limited opportunity, reduced agency, and perpetuation of gender inequalities. Because of this restriction, guys, female then don't get equal opportunity as boys. Their opportunities get limited with respect to education, career, everything. And this reduced opportunities, okay, leads to reduced agency, reduced capabilities. And because of this reduced capabilities, reduced opportunities, reduced agency, okay, female don't able to, rather these gender inequalities perpetuate more. Okay. So for example, Taliban. Now Taliban has restricted women's education, because if women get educated, if they are economically independent, okay, they will ask for the rights. They won't live like your slaves. So obviously you don't want girl child to get education. So you restrict their education, then you restrict their empowerment, restrict their agency, impact their capabilities, and by impacting those capabilities, etc., okay, you can keep the gender inequalities or gender injustices, okay, perpetuating. So you can discuss about how this restriction impact their growth, opportunity, capabilities. Then discuss how this restriction impact girls' self-esteem, mental health, overall well-being, okay, being treated in a different manner, being treated in a secondary manner, okay, how this impacts girls' self-esteem, mental health issues. India में बहुत ज़्यादा because of these restrictions, okay, lack of mobility, lack of restriction, lack of recreational facilities that are available to females. Okay, a lot of females in India suffer from a lot of mental issues like depression, anxiety, etc. Then you can also talk about limited access to education for girls exclusively. Okay, and mostly like girls who reach puberty, and most of those high schools or colleges, okay, in rural areas, there are no washrooms or hygienic facilities available, and then because of that, then most of the girls drop out of the schools and so on. And so largely, even once they reach puberty, these restrictions, okay, impact their education, access to education. Then this overall, if you don't get good education, etc., it will impact women's opportunity for economic advancement. Then उनका economic advancement कभी नहीं हो पाएगा because of those restrictions. And अगर economic advancement नहीं होता, economic independence नहीं होता, okay, then they will never come in a decision maker role. They will always be secondary to the male partner, etc. If they don't have their own resources, own finances, okay, then they will never reach a final decision or never become a final decision makers. And this lack of economic opportunity or restriction on economic opportunities will impact them everywhere. Then whether about they won't be able to decide about their own reproductive rights or any other thing. They will not even have much say in the family matters. So this economic opportunity or restriction on economic opportunity will impact their economic independence or their advancement or their role as a decision makers. Then this can trap women in a cycle of poverty and dependence. Then obviously in perpetuity they will get trapped in this cycle of poverty, cycle of dependence on other segments of the society or family, parents, husband, etc., or even a kid as such. Then you can have limited access to reproductive health infrastructure, can have negative health consequences. Example, access to contraceptives. Okay, ये भी एक major issue है. That limited access to reproductive health infrastructure can have negative health consequences. Example, that is access to contraceptives. Now, what I mean by this point, you can also discuss this point. That largely, guys, in India, there is lot of restriction on a female about their rights or reproductive rights. Large Indian females don't have their reproductive rights in their own control, when to have a baby, when to get a baby, or family planning, etc. Because in India, guys, according to one survey, you can Google the survey done by economic survey, the statistics came in economic survey, that around 47% females in India, okay, or couples in India don't use any kind of contraceptives. Okay, and those who use, okay, in which only 17-18% use reversible contraceptives. So mostly those families who don't use contraceptives, female don't have the reproductive rights in their control. Mostly those families are very conservative. Then females will not, because of restriction on mobility, because of these restrictions, female will not go to medical shop buying eye pills, etc. Or even if contraceptives are used, okay, largely they are male controlled. So condoms, etc. So if male stop using them, then there will be a pregnancy. Or even in case of eye pills, etc., in rural areas, female have a lot of, due to conservative culture, restriction. They can't go out to a medical shop, buy eye pills, etc. So these restrictions will also impact their reproductive health, their access to reproductive health infrastructure, etc. Even many female will not feel comfortable because of these conservative cultures and restrictions to go to primary health care center, and if there is a male doctor, then discuss with the male doctor their issues related to gynecological health, etc. And that's why this restriction tremendously impacts girl child. Then restriction leads to underrepresentation in leadership, political, decision making roles. And because of this restriction, guys, female then also get underrepresented in leadership roles. They will never be decision maker, and also they don't get represented in political roles or mostly in decision making authorities. और इसी की वजह से because of this restriction, भले हमने political empowerment किया है females का, we have a reservation for females to in gram panchayats, 33% reservation for the post of sarpanch, etc. But largely, wherever there is a female sarpanch in India, largely her husband, sarpanch pati, okay, works. He is the decision maker. He takes the all decision. So, आपका ये जो sarpanch pati phenomena, guys, one of the major reason was this restriction on the females that is also manifested in the form of sarpanch pati phenomena. तो बहुत short में हर एक point को 20-25-30 word में in 100 words explain how this is a harmful to the females, this gender expectation. Then explain consequences of harm for boys being subjected to demands. So you can discuss the second part of the essay now, that demands from boys, how this harm them, what are the consequences of those demands. So there also you can discuss one of the major issue, emotional repression can result in mental health issues. Okay, so there is a tremendous mental repression. They can't be emotionally express themselves even if they are facing any issues, etc. And most of the time then most of these males don't get opportunity or outlet to express their emotional side or emotional problems, challenges that they face, and this keeps on accumulating, leading to depression, anxiety, and even a suicide. And as I told you, India is a capital for even a men suicide. 25% suicides that are happening across the world, 25% suicides are from males from India. So 4 male commit suicide worldwide, 1 is from India. Then violent tendencies, okay, because of these demands and most of the demands are unreasonable demands or demands beyond their capabilities, guys, and because of this expectation not to express themselves in a emotional manner, okay, this then pushes them into an extremely violent tendency, okay, and mostly males are, due to high on testosterone, are prone to this violent tendency, and so these tendencies then also it impacts their causes them low self-esteem, depression, anxiety if they fail in providing for a family or in any other way, okay, because societies will start judging them, etc. It impacts their ego, impacts their self-esteem. So you can talk about their impacts also. Then limits emotional intelligence because of this expectation to be stoic, demand to be stoic, or should not express their emotions freely, openly, or they can't supposed to even cry, and because of these issues, guys, it hampers their growth of emotional intelligence. Okay, so you have concept of emotional intelligence in ethics paper. You can use that idea here. Okay, how it impacts their ability to express themselves, communicate themselves in emotional manner. Then adoption of risky and aggressive behavior, substance abuse, etc. because of peer pressure or other demands from the peer group, or to fit in with the peer group, to conform with the peer group or those roles, okay, it causes them to adopt a very risky or aggressive behaviors, or it might lead to problems like substance abuse, addiction, I told you. Then also most of the time unable to provide for the families and unreasonable demands, they might get into activities like crime, etc. To satisfy those demands, and so it leads to very risky, aggressive behavior. Then gender demands, okay, stifle creativity and interest, because I told you they are not males are not encouraged to pursue careers like dance, music, drama, or those creative expressions, even though they have those potentials. And this limits, guys, this gender demands stifle their entire creativity. It also limits their career choices. तो इस पे भी आप सो एक वर्ड लिखना. So till now what we have done is the definition of gender identity. Then what are gender expectation from girls? What are the demands from boys? 100 word. How this gender expectation impact girls? How these demands impact boys? 100 words. तो ये 400 words and intro, gist and definition के part के 150 word. So 500 words essay you have covered till now very comprehensively. Now you can go ahead in the essay and try to explore a few more dimensions. So then highlight the importance of breaking free from these restrictions for individual empowerment and societal progress. So why we need to break this? Now 100 word में discuss करो कि ये सारे इसके problems है and we need to break this. अगर ये break करते हैं तो what good will come out of it? Okay, तो थोड़ा बहुत जो हमने problem discuss किए थे, how we'll be able to address those problems, etc. So discuss little bit that how we can, why it is important this essay topic. Okay, कि ये essay topic जो बोल रहा है कि both are harmful things, girl expectation from girls and demand from boys. So both are harmful, and that's why we need to destroy them. We need to create gender neutral society. So discuss the importance of need to create this gender neutral society, gender unbiased society, और उससे फिर क्या क्या फायदे होंगे, what good will come out. तो पहले जो प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस किए थे उनको सिर्फ क्विकली रिवर्स करके लिखना कि this things will be able to address and will be able to create a very good world for both girl and a boy child. Then we can then you can also discuss some case study of Scandinavian countries. Okay, many countries are extremely gender neutral, most of the European Scandinavian countries. So you can discuss about those Scandinavian countries, how they are managing, or how they have able to create such a good infrastructure. They have managed to create a very well developed infrastructure and society where there is a total gender neutrality. तो उनका कोई स्टैटिस्टिक्स हाउ ऑफ वीमेन एम्पावरमेंट एंड मेल के लिए उन्होंने जो भी सेटअप किया है, okay, you can discuss or Google about it and give some Scandinavian countries reference and how these countries have achieved very in an awesome manner this human development and address this stereotype, gender expectations, etc. Then can restriction on girls and demand from boys can be done away with? Then थोड़ा आप ये भी डिस्कस करो कि चलो we discussed the restriction, we discussed demands, we discussed their problems, what consequence it create, and why we need to now address them. Then now go ahead in the essay and debate that can we address them, can we destroy this restriction on boys, demand on restriction on girls, demand on boys. Okay, are there ways? So here you can discuss some sociological thinkers or some psychological studies that yes, through different child rearing practices, through different strategies, how we can address these stereotype prejudices, gender stereotype, gender prejudices, okay, and this can be done. Many countries have done it. Scandinavian countries ka reference we have already given. So discuss that can we deal with this issue, and yes, okay, yes, we can deal with this issue. So try to establish that can restriction on girls and demands from boys be done away with, and if yes, okay, then how to do that, and how to do that, then you can write a solutions. So 100-150 words in the end of the essay provide solutions. How you need to address this issue, what are the different ways that you are suggesting to address this issue. Now here give a concrete solutions, okay, 100-150 words. So reshaping societal expectations to create a more inclusive, equitable world for all genders. So how we can reshape the societal expectation to create a gender neutral, more inclusive world where the male and female are not treated differently, and how we can able to ensure equitable treatment to all genders. Okay, girls will get the same opportunities, even boys will not be over demanded. How we can achieve that? Then also you can discuss in challenging gender norms and promoting gender equality and fostering inclusive society for boys and girls. Okay, तो ये जेंडर नॉर्म्स कहाँ से एड्रेस करने, फिर स्कूल, एजुकेशन, मीडिया, ओके, हर जगह से वी नीड टू अटैक दिस जेंडर नॉर्म्स, we need to destroy these different expectation, different demands. So you can talk about how we can challenge the gender norms and create a gender equality, gender neutrality. Then you can discuss multidimensional approach here involving role of individual, community, society, educational institution, policy makers, etc. in creating this gender neutral society. And I have recorded, guys, on my Darshanik IAS YouTube channel. You can check out one lecture where I have discussed how to write a multi-dimensional essay. So in that I have discussed different dimensions that you can use in your essay writing. So you can think about such a multi-dimensional approach. Check that my lecture. Okay, you will get an idea what I mean by multifaceted approach, multi-dimensional approach. So in that I have given 20-25 agencies. Okay, so you can think about 10-12 agencies who can play a role in addressing this issue of gender expectations and gender demands. So there you can discuss the role of family, education, schooling, textbooks, role models, media, society, culture, religion, okay, policy making, administration, etc. and how we can deal with creating gender unbiased society. Then gender neutral education, you can discuss this. Then role of gender sensitive curriculum, where this education books, okay, do not enforce the stereotypes. Your curriculum should be gender neutral. Then how you can provide this gender neutral education, or any gender biased references has to be removed from the child who is not restricted, or boys who are given liberal free environment. Unki success stories you can add in your textbook, etc. to encourage the next generation. Then you can also talk about awareness sensitization program for parent, teachers, school, community at large. उनमें भी awareness program, sensitization program you need to make teachers aware of these restrictions, how to deal with this restriction, how to totally change the personality of the kids in the school. So we need to create awareness sensitization program for teachers, parents, and then community as a whole to address this issue. So you can talk about those awareness sensitization programs also. And then so almost 100-150 word you can discuss how to address the gender norms. Okay, now guys, so almost after discussing this, last conclusion. Now in conclusion guys, you can totally summarize the essay topic whatever you have discussed till now 70-80 word mein. So thus in this essay we try to have in-depth understanding of the gender identity, and then we discussed how these gender differences get created in the society and how they lead to creation of unreasonable expectation, restriction on girls and unreasonable demand on boys. And these unreasonable gender expectation and demands lead to extremely harmful consequences that we try to get depth look into. And after that, in this essay we have also discussed that there is a immediate need to address such a gender norms, and create an equitable society, inclusive society, where both boys and girls will get an opportunity to grow, etc. So you can try to summarize the topic, but more than summarization, you can try to conclude your essay with the optimism that I generally tell. Try to be more optimistic in your essay. Now what I mean by being optimistic, तो इस essay topic में optimism से end कैसे करना? तो assume करो that आपने जो भी essay में discuss किया, the restriction on girls, demand on boys, और उन दोनों के consequences जो harmful हो रहे हैं और उसको deal करने के लिए आपने जो solution दिए, अब ये सारे solution implement कर दिए. Okay, now society is well aware of these issues, and no parents force their boy or demand unreasonably from their boys or put unreasonable expectation on girl kids. Society is also doing the same. So think that we have managed to create this gender neutral, gender inclusive society. So what kind of world it will be after 50, 100 years afterwards? Okay, so what kind of ideal egalitarian world we can create if we manage to end restriction on girls and demand on boys? Okay, तो वो एक scenario picturize करो that once we able to address all these solutions, implement all these solutions, we will be able to create a world where no girl will be restricted and held back from achieving her full potential or realizing her full development, or no boy will be forced by the demands, to get to feel depressed or even get pushed into suicidal tendencies. Even boys will get nurtured in an emotionally stable manner, while girls will also be developed to be equally achievers or good performers, etc. And finally, we will be able to create a world which is better, for both girl and boy child to realize their potential, achieve their happiness, and we will be able to create some good, awesome society. So try to romanticize that we have addressed this issue and we have able to create a awesome, better world. So what kind of that world will be, how different it will be from this today's world. Okay, तो इनिशियली मैंने आपको स्टोरी भी बताई थी. ओके, काफी रिस्ट्रिक्शन और डिमांड रखते हैं अपने गर्ल बॉय चाइल्ड पे, दूसरे काफी लिबरल है. तो यू कैन देन कंक्लूड दैट दैट स्टोरी को थोड़ा रिवर्स करके, दैट विल बी द पार्ट ऑफ वर्ल्ड where we will not have such a different families where one girl or boy child will be forced by these demands and restriction, while other will get liberal opportunities to grow. We will be able to create a overall inclusive society where all girl boy child will get to develop themselves. तो उस स्टोरी को भी ट्वीक कर पाओ तो करना, बट लार्जली ये अज्यूम कर लो कि ऐसे टॉपिक सॉल्व हो चुका है, तो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ बेटर वर्ल्ड इट विल बी. तो ट्राई टू रोमांटिसाइज that better world with your existing society. So that's all for now, guys. So thanks for listening. Okay, stay tuned to my other lectures, also other videos of the this essay topics. Okay, and you can stay tuned to my channel Darshanik IAS by Kadam sir, and for notes, whatever I have discussed with you, for PDF of that documents, you can join my Telegram channel UPSC Ethics 4. There I will share this PDF with you, and also download my app from Google Play or Apple Store. Okay, and soon on my Darshanik IAS app, I will be launching in English the entire course of ethics and entire module of the essay writing. So it will start around December, Jan. I will have to still work on the lectures and recordings. So soon it will be available, but till then you can stay tuned and take help of my lectures available on YouTube. So thank you guys.